Guys, and welcome back to another Access 72 video. In today's video I'm back with another interview, and I'm doing my first ever return interview, and I'm back with Ricky Gorman. Ricky, how are we?
Oh, good, thank you, brother. I'm all good.
Great, good to hear, man. Thank you for coming back on the channel, mate.
Absolutely no problem, pleasure the first time, so yeah, let's do it twice. Great. It was so good the first time, let's do it again.
Yes, okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, you're a 26-year-old heavyweight who's one and known now, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, well, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. Okay, well, we've got to start off with the big congratulations for getting the victory, mate.
Thank you very much, our kid.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and so the first question, how were you feeling before the fight, mate?
How was I feeling before the fight, confident, prepared well. Knew I was in there for a tough task though as well. Obviously, the gentleman I fought was no pushover. Having fight Dave Allen on his last fight and fought the German champion on the fight before. So yeah, felt confident, felt good. But at the same time, respecting the opponent, as you've got to do with all your opponents. You've got to show respect. You've got to have that dignity to you to show respect. Good. Other than that, brother.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, felt good. We had a good game plan going into it. Sort of got thrown through the window after the first round.
Yes.
Our debut.
Yes.
Long time coming.
Yes. And so, what was it like? I mean, you looked confident. I've watched the whole fight, and you looked very confident going into it. What was it like fighting in front of fans?
Oh, it's my thing, innit?
Yeah.
That's it. So all I needed was just to be around people. Do you know what I mean? I'm an entertainer, and I don't know, mate. I'm blessed for the big stage. I think that's just my honest opinion. I've got to be around people. I've got to have people watching, all eyes on. And I thrive to that. That is me. I'm not one of these what just does it in the gym. I like to express it on fight night. So
definitely.
That's it.
And so you got off to a pretty fast start. You went in and you were going in kind of all guns blazing. Was that kind of what you were expecting to do, or was that kind of the adrenaline just pushing you to do that?
Well, that was a lot of build-ups to certain debuts and then not happening, certain debuts then happening. I think it was just a big, I'm in here. And then I calmed down and then, started getting going. But yeah, that was what I was. So just a little bit.
Yes, and so I saw you switched, only for maybe a little bit, but you switched to a southpaw. So I was kind of interested as how capable would you say you are as a southpaw?
I am a southpaw.
Oh, I saw you switching between the two, so I was thinking,
yeah.
So
I answered that question many years ago when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
I originally fight. Yes. This is my comfortable way of fighting, to be here. And at 8 years of age, my old trainer Joey Singleton got hold of me and transferred me this way.
Right.
Hence why I've got such a good left hand for me left hook and me jab. But naturally, I'm meant to be this way.
Right. Okay.
Which will be getting shown soon in other fights.
So that's good to see that you can use both, especially so early on, because you executed it very well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that, brother.
Yes, and so obviously you got the knockdown in the second round. How was that kind of feeling to experience a big sensation as a knockdown is? Yeah,
100%. You're a good, tough man. He walked onto, I set him up for a beautiful big shot, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, obviously it's what I do, but he walked onto a big one, and that's pretty much the run of how it goes, isn't it? You know what I mean? Your eyes has got to be peeled, and it's shots you don't see coming what get you. It was a shot you just didn't see coming. So yeah, how did I take to it? Loved it. It was good.
Definitely. And so, I mean, you said that at the start you might have not overly stuck to your game plan, but by the end, would you say that you kind of by maybe the last couple rounds, you said you maybe stuck to more your game plan then?
No.
Right.
Again, no. Still a bit fast paced, still a bit unorthodox. I didn't, it was a debut, but that's the whole point of having a debut. It's there to experience, go over and learn. But now from that fight onwards, though, it's all strict off the game plan and what we go in there to work on and what we go in there to work for. So that's how it is.
Definitely. And so you've mentioned a few times how that your opponent was a tough opponent, but I was kind of interested as to how tough you thought he was.
I thought he was, it says it on the tin, literally with him. You've got an opponent in there with, I think, 6 wins with 5 knockouts to his resume. You've got to realise that you're in there with someone who can punch and is sturdy, who has never been dropped to the head. I think I'm the only person to ever drop him to the head.
That's impressive.
So, it speaks a lot of volumes. So I realised that I was in there not with a pushover, was in there with someone who was game, in shape, and came for a go. You know, he wasn't just a typical person you see have on their debut. He gets it with the jabs and falls to pieces. He came for a bit of a go,
definitely,
which made it look better for me.
Yeah, definitely. And so you said that obviously you weren't, or you've learnt from this fight, but I'd kind of interested. Obviously, you might not want to give away too much of a game plan, but what lessons would you say have you learnt from this fight?
Well, you know, I've learnt 4 good, solid, valuable rounds as a professional. Knowing when to up the tempo, down the tempo, know when to wrap up, know when to drop, know when to hold, know when to keep the range, know when to go forward, know when to press, feel for the crowd, feel for a professional referee, know when to work, know when not to work. It's good. It is good.
Okay.
So,
yes. And so what was it like working with Vinco Boxing?
I thought Vinco done a good job, you know. I'm back out again with them on December the 9th. I thought they'd done a lovely job before the way it was set out, the venue, who was in attendance for the matchup. As you've seen, it was brilliant people in attendance. We had David Price, Kasha Jonas, Jack Cattrall, my manager Paul Smith Jr., Thomas Stalker, the gentleman who put the shot on. Loads in attendance, weren't they? So it was a great show for so many, you know, great fighters being there of the past and the present.
Yes.
And obviously my brother Nathan being there.
Yes. Well, how was it like with him? Like, because I saw you were in the changing room before the fight. What kind of things was he saying to you before the fight?
What was he saying? Not a lot, really. Not a lot. He was just a bit of nerves. He had more. I think he had more nerves than me, mate. To be honest, I'm not even joking. And he loves it, you know. We love it. It's all we know, and it was good, really good. So yeah, we enjoyed it.
Yes, and so it's been a little bit, a couple of weeks since the fight now, and so have you gone back and watched the fight yet?
I have watched it once, yeah. Once I've stuck myself back, you know, weighed up the television. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have a good watch of it, and I've weighed it up once. I've watched the knockdown a few times, just like what people showed me, you know, obviously because they've come up to me and whatever, and oh, what a good shot, blah blah. But I've watched the fight back once, but by myself, because I'm my own worst critic, mate. Right. Like that for me was like me truthfully about 60%. And that ain't no joke. Like that's me at 60%.
Yeah.
I think that ain't the best of me, you know what I mean? But I just got a bit erratic because it was my debut, you know.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Yes, and I heard your interview after the fight, and I heard that you were fighting with like tonsillitis, or was it something like that? And was that
bad as a dog, man? Yeah, truth's the truth. No, it was as bad as a dog before the fight. My little girl was in hospital. True, if you want to put it into like complete facts, my little girl was bad in hospital. And mate, I had a big pair of swollen tonsils, which was tonsillitis. wasn't very good. But I don't like making that up as anything else. You know what I mean? Because I went in there, I fought, and I think if you're going in there to fight, you can't say anything about it because you're in the ring. Then you know that's it. But it would have been nice to have been in there at 100%. I didn't tell me trainer either.
No.
Well, nobody just went in there and done my thing, which, thank God, you know, shows what kind of a man I am.
Yeah, definitely. I respect that. I mean, like, obviously a lot of fighters might have pulled out, especially as a debut, it's such a big thing, but like might have pulled out, but you didn't, and you stuck committed. I hope everything's kind of doing all better for you now. Yeah,
well, I'm 110%, and the most important thing is my little girl's 110%. So thank God everything's all coming lovely into place, getting ready for December the 9th.
Great. And so as a whole of the whole experience of a first professional fight, how much did you enjoy it?
Oh, mate, loved it. I loved it. It was brilliant. You know, good. Like I say, it's the experience. You can't buy experience, and that's one thing no one can ever buy, and nothing ever can get, is being in the squared circle and doing your job, which now I have, and I enjoyed it.
That's great. Okay.
Against a really tough competitor too.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, got to put some respect on his name. You know what I mean? You don't see many debutants fighting him, do you?
No, definitely not.
You know.
Yes, that's impressive, man. And so, you said a few times you're back out to December 9th. So how's preparations been going for that?
How's preparations been going for December night? Really good, nice and relaxed, nice and calm. Like I say, this camp now, because I'm already fit, I don't leave the gym, so I'm fit to fight now. It's not like I put a 3 stone on trying to cut weight off, because I'm in the gym all the time. I've been doing a lot of set pieces, as you should say.
Okay.
I'm working on a lot of set pieces to add to the game, so that's what we've been doing, and it's all coming to plan.
Definitely. And so, have you brought in any new sparring partners to kind of help with that new set piece?
Yep, I've had new sparring partners coming from all over the shop. I'll be going over to my brother Nathan soon as well, going over sparring over there with him, and a couple of other sparring partners over there with him and himself and some other lads. I've also had 3 brand new fresh sparring partners who I've never sparred with before as well for this camp. So sparring, the sparring's gone up in tenfold. I'd say I've had about another 6 fresh sparring partners came in, so it's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good to see that you're constantly changing it around. Okay, and so
Big Tom Aspinall's back soon, and we're sparring starting up next week.
Yes, is he doing all right with his injury? Obviously.
Yeah, he's back on the rehabilitation road, and he's getting back healthy and fit. So we'll be back in the ring with each other next week.
Definitely. Okay, and so how much do you know about your opponent for December 9th?
Phil Williams, just a big, tough, durable heavyweight. That's what I believe I know about him. He's had 44 contests, one the other week, which he just won. He beat a prospect of 2-0.
Wow.
So he's obviously dangerous. You got to watch him. He's a big man. And it's heavyweight division. One punch can change everything.
Definitely. And so,
like that.
Yeah, it's another tough opponent from what it seems. You're not going in with anybody light.
No, I'm not going in there with not I think I know definitely not. My second pro fight, I'm in there with Phil Williams, a gentleman who's had 45 bouts. Only been stopped, I believe, 3 times, I think, or 4 times in 45 bouts. I think it's 4 times he's been stopped. 4 times in 45 bouts. So his ring, shall we say, his ring survival will be very hard. But I reckon with my punch selections, my punch variety, I reckon I'll get through to him.
Yeah, so
because we can see in my first fight, now everyone's going to watch me. I've got fast hands.
Yes.
And I throw a lot of punches for a big heavyweight. A lot, probably too much, but can't help it. It's the way I fight.
No, yeah, definitely.
All in or all out, innit?
Yes, that's great. It's similar kind of in a way to like maybe a Joe Joyce kind of style. Really, it's similar kind of thing to that. Is what I picked up on. Yeah,
non-stop punching. Yeah, very, very constant, in your face, really.
Yeah. Okay, and so I've got kind of questions. I mean, you probably answered this a little bit, but I mean, I just was wanting to ask them anyway. There's thoughts on the 3 big kind of heavyweight fights coming up, and so we'll start with, of course, your brother fighting Fabio Wardley. That's a fight that I'm very excited for. That's a big British heavyweight bout, and it's not been a good one of them in a while. And so, what's your kind of thoughts going in for that fight?
So my thoughts on that one is it's like this at the end of the day, looking at it and seeing it on a whole. It's going to be an Nathan Gorman win, but got to be fair to the other lad, because at the end of the day, it is a sport. You've got to realise with Fabio Wardley, he ain't someone who's just going to go in there, have a jab up the mouth and then fall to the floor. He ain't that kind of a lad. He can fight, you know what I mean? Anyone what's had 15 pro bouts, won 15, knocked out 14. You're obviously carrying power and you're doing all the right things. He's got good feet, he's got good head movement. He punches well on angles. He's a bit unorthodox. He does things what's not by the textbook rule book. But hey, the more unorthodox you can be in this game, and the more unconventional you are, the better. Because at the end, they don't know what you're preparing for, do they? But looking at it on the whole, you've got to look at Nathan's attributes. He's a good boxer. He's got a good jab. He's got a good body punch selection. He wears his opponents down well. He's a good fighter. And I believe Nathan stops Wardley anywhere from round 9 to round 11. That's when he'll stop Wardley. Wardley's never been in deep waters before. He's never been to the big stage before. If you look at his resume, I mean this in all due respect to him, he's never fought nothing like Nathan Gorman before.
That's true.
It's all right, keep saying you fought Eric Molina. What's the sense in saying you fought an old 40-year-old has-been? Well, when the man was a good person 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He was all right 10 years ago, but you haven't fought him at the man at his best. You fought him 10 years on. Probably the man just come up off the settee, took the paycheck and thought, I'm going to give it a go. And let's be fair, give him some big scares in that fight.
Yeah.
Now he's fighting a 26-year-old in his pump. You see, you got to bear some mind. Look what Nathan's won already. See, what people don't realise is Nathan's been a Central Area champion. He's been a WBC international champion, which he beat a 13-0 German champion, Mohammed Salti, for. He's an IBF international European champion. Beat Dominic Akinlandi, who was former English champion. And then he fought Daniel Dubois for the vacant British title. That's a lot for a 26-year-old resume. With a record of 20 fights, 19 wins, and 14 or 15 knockouts. Speaks a lot of volumes about him. Oh, plus he beat Sean Turner, who was the Irish champion.
Yeah, it shows, and I'm sure
it shows the
levels,
golfing class, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people kind of maybe overlook this fight a little bit, or kind of think maybe overlook Gorman a little bit in the fight. But I think that like he's definitely should be going in as the favourite for that fight.
Should be, yeah. Been here before. He knows it. Like I say, it's Wardley's first time of having big time boxing. He's never done big time boxing before. My brother has, on quite numerous occasions. I mean, let's be fair, him and Dubois headlined the O2 Arena. Yeah. He was chief support on Tyson Fury's undercard when he fought Sean Turner. Let's get that right. When Tyson done his comeback fight against Surfer Safiri. No disrespect to Wardley. Like I say, I like the lad. I only wish him well with his career, but you have statistics in football for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Kevin De Bruyne ain't the best midfielder for nothing. He's the best midfielder because you look at his statistics. And that's just the way it is. You go off stats. And to say you don't go on stats, or what you're going off.
Yeah, true.
So going off stats, Gorman, you know something? I'm going to be totally honest. In all of the 20 opponents he's fought, I think in his full career, out of 20 pro fights, I think he's lost about 8 rounds of boxing.
Wow. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
In 20 pro fights?
That's very good.
So to lose 8 rounds in 20 pro fights, you've got to be doing something right. Oh, he beat Kevin Johnson, a former world title challenger.
Yeah.
He beat Razvan Kajanu, another world title challenger. Richard Larty, who gave Daniel Dubois a hell of a fight for 5 rounds.
Stacked.
It's quite a good resume, really, when you weigh him up, innit? It ain't bad for 26. So he's just got to keep going, and then hopefully, when he gets his British title, he then shall push on for bigger and better things. But what I'd like to see him do is defend that belt 3 times.
Okay.
And keep it.
Is there any components?
Who's coming through for that British title? Who's the other ones coming through? What's around Nathan's back? It's only Wardley, isn't they? On that British title mark, who else is there?
I'm trying to think now. The thing is, heavyweights is good, but there's not loads right there at the British level quite yet. Maybe.
No, it's not quite there. Johnny Fisher ain't had enough fights yet.
Not yet.
You couldn't say Johnny Fisher because he hasn't even won the English title yet or anything like that. You know what I mean? He hasn't even fought for an English title or anything. Yeah. So
he's
got a long way. He's got a long way of stepping. So you can't say that lad. He's only had 7 fights or something. Who else is there? Matty Harris. No, he's only had 3. Jose Stewart's only had 2. 3, sorry.
Yeah.
Frank Unitas only had 4 or 5. So see what I mean? So there's a big massive. Steve Robinson's only had 5, 6. Yeah. So there's a big drop, isn't they, really, before you look at the big tier and then you go down a little bit and they've had hardly no fights.
Yeah.
Solomon Dacres has only had 5 fights.
Yeah, not quite yet for him either. Yeah, the thing is, it would be quite I would like to see him defend. It's just it would be obviously quite tough to find the right opponent.
That's all it'd have to be. It'd have to just be finding the right opponents. Obviously, then you go past Nathan and Wardley, and then the moment you go out of them in Britain, the only people then you can mention then is Joshua, Joyce, Dubois, and Tyson, and Chisora and White.
Yeah,
because that's it. The top 6. It's a bit like the Premier League. You go out the top 6, and then it goes oof. And then you've maybe got your Wolverhampton Wanderers and your Everton, and your Aston Villas, and then you drop down a little bit more, and then you get your Brightons, your Southamptons. I'm like Charlton Athletic myself.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, possibly there's another fight which I'd like to talk about as being the Fury versus Chisora one. But I mean, possibly if Chisora does maybe lose to Fury, you never know. Gorman versus Chisora could be a fight.
There's a fight. Yes, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if Chisora loses to Tyson, there's a fight. Derek Chisora versus Nathan Gorman.
That'd be a good fight. It'd be a tough fight.
It makes good sense. Yeah, it's another good shot for Derek again, isn't it? He's just come from there, and then he's back at again for the British title. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. A big Derek, he can fight, can't he? He's a good person, Derek Chisora. I rate Derek highly, you know. Good shout.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, obviously everybody's talking about it at the moment. The heavyweight division, the matches aren't always being made, but the match of Wardley versus Gorman is like the fight to make, and that's the fight in the heavyweight division that I'm the most excited for at the moment out of all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good fight, isn't it? You know, you got to be honest and say what it is, isn't it? It's a good fight between two good young up and coming young men, and it'll be a Team Gorman win.
Yes, great. Okay, and so we'll move on to obviously the card on the main event of that fight, which is White versus Franklin. Is there any kind of major things any major thoughts that you have for that?
I don't know a lot about Franklin, if I can be honest. Obviously, I know the man's had 20 wins or whatever it is with 13 knockouts, so obviously he's not a bum, you know what I mean? He's obviously, he knows his job a little bit, but look, I don't know. I don't know. The body snatcher's a funny man. He can fight, can't he? And I don't know. I can see myself personally. I go for Dillian White myself, not knowing nothing. Listen, not taking nothing from Franklin. I don't know him, but I'm going for Dillian White.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably say the same, but the thing is, like, it is a little bit of like an annoyance. I mean, like, because it seemingly was Dubois was meant to face White, and something fell through with that, and so that would have been like the fight to make. And now somebody's like Franklin. Obviously, he's got a good record, but like you said, not loads of people have really heard of him because he's not fought like massive fighters compared to somebody like a Joyce or even like a Parker or like a Dubois or anybody like that. And so I kind of would prefer them to fight somebody like that, really.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, yeah, exactly. You know, a fight, what would have been a good fight to have watched if he could have got it made, but obviously it didn't. They got made. Even if Dillian White never fought if Dillian White never fought Franklin, it'd have been nice to have watched Daniel Dubois face off against someone like, I don't know, if he never got him, it'd maybe have been nice to have seen him and Joe Joyce rematch.
Definitely.
You know, that's what it would have been nice, you know, but I know Joe's not a world champion, but Joe is a league above Dubois.
Definitely. Yeah.
He's beaten. He's already beaten. And he's just a different man than Daniel. Well, that's taking nothing away from Daniel Dubois. He's a good fan. He can fight, but Joe Joyce is a very good opposition, and he can fight. I like Joe Joyce a lot.
Yeah, and especially from what he showed in his last fight, but he was amazing.
Was indeed, you know, good. Well, he wore down a tough Joseph Parker, probably one of the best versions of Joseph Parker you're ever going to find. And let's be fair, he got to him, broke him up, and just kept walking him down and was hurting him, wasn't he? You know, with everything he threw, and it was like whatever Joe Joyce threw at him just never made an effect.
Yeah, it's crazy. Especially like how heavy the punches are, of course, coming towards him.
100%. He's earned his name, the Juggernaut.
Definitely. Okay, and so I'll leave it with this final fight to talk about. Of course, it's the big one, really. Fury versus Chisora. I know there's a lot of stick behind that, but what's your kind of thoughts as a whole for that fight?
What, an analysis how the fight goes, or?
Sure. Yeah, we'll not go into too much of how like the controversial kind of side of it. Well, yeah, the analysis of how the fight would go.
Analysis: Tyson can take Derek out whenever he fancies.
Yeah.
Whenever Tyson wants the show to end. You know, no disrespect to Derek Chisora. I mean this with the height and respect. He's a great guy and everything, but
yeah.
It's like me playing Tiger Woods at golf. I'm not going to do very good, am I?
Yeah. That's obviously why a lot of people are quite annoyed at it at the moment, really.
Just got to be realistic with stuff, brother, haven't you? At the end of the day, you know, Tyson is the best of his era, isn't he? To be fair, got to give the man his due, haven't you? Yeah. So, and that's it. That is what it is. So, you can't say nothing else.
No.
He's the best of his era. So,
okay.
I look forward to it, and it'll be on to Tyson Fury whenever he fancies taking Derek out.
Yes, definitely. Okay, well, I'll leave it with that. Of course, I always like to ask, would you like to shout anything out before the end of the interview?
Yeah, just a big shout out to all my sponsors. You know, big shout out to me SJJ contractors. You know, for helping my career go the way it's going. Shout out to Aptitude Fitness. Big shout out to Elite Autos in Widnes. I want to shout out Global Green CBD. I also want to shout out Fight Circle as well. British Boxing TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people who've been with me from the ground up. You know, that's the people I want to thank and the people I want to get behind me. Your Toxter Brewing Company, Night In. You know, because if it weren't for these guys, I wouldn't be able to do my thing. Architect Barbers. You know, so I'm very grateful. So that's what I wanted to shout out and say a big thank you. Big shout out to my coach as well, Terry Spencer, for doing everything what we've been doing together.
Great.
So it's just the start of good things to come.
Definitely. Okay, and so I mean, obviously, I'm sure. I mean, you're fighting December 9th. I mean, possibly we might be able to do an interview after that. I'd love to just kind of because I do enjoy having a good chat with you because you're a good person to speak to, and I'd love to just kind of go along with you in your career and keep having you back on the channel if you're up for that.
Anytime.
Yes. Great. Okay.
Anytime.
Nice.
If you want to come to the fights, if you're not too far, come down to the fight.
Yes, I will.
On December 9th.
Yes, I will see. Where is it again?
Liverpool.
Okay. I'll see what I can do, mate. If not, I will definitely. Sometime in your career, I'll definitely try and be about in the fights, mate. And so thank you very much, mate.
That'll do, my brother. No problem at all.
Nice one. Okay. Well, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and thanks for watching.